Ryan and Rico show. And Coach, thanks for taking a few minutes out of your day to talk to us and keep us updated on what happened. I heard you had a pretty nice seat next to two buddies on the stand.
Yeah, it was interesting up there. You know, it's always good to see our good friends. So, good coaches, good guys, good coaches.
More uncomfortable to sit next to Jim Harbaugh or me?
Probably you.
Coach, why is it important? You know, you guys have to do a lot of things nonstop throughout the year to take some time off to come out here today and talk with these kids.
Well, you know, from my perspective, really, when you're a coach, I don't care really what level you are, you're trying to be a difference maker. And I've always talked to our team, and I talk to my daughters a lot and about this. You know, you're just trying to be a light out there sometimes. I think people have an opportunity to extend themselves a little bit and make things special for people occasionally. And, you know, when you have those opportunities, you need to take up that opportunity and make it a reality. So that's what we're doing down here. You know, we're down here to be around other coaches, to help the game of football. Football is a vehicle. It's more than just a sport. It's a vehicle to move your life forward, and I think that's what we're just trying to do to help in that area.
Talking to Michigan State head football coach Mark Dantonio here on the Ryan and Rico show. And Mark, before we move forward, I want to go back for a little bit because we were talking about Jim Caldwell and changing a culture with the Detroit Lions organization, and everybody always talks about culture, and I don't even know if you can quantify it, but the example I always give if you want to talk about a culture change is what you did when you first came to Michigan State. You took over a program that wasn't very good, but you talked about championships. You put pictures of the Rose Bowl up in the building. You made it okay for Michigan State fans to want more, and you achieved that. Can you talk about that? Because, you know, you talk to these kids out here today, they don't remember a good Michigan team. They only know Michigan State is the premier program in this state right now, and that goes back to what you did from day one up in East Lansing.
Well, thank you. You know, everything has a starting point. I truly believe that. This season is going to have a starting point. What we do from this point on, you know, we'll be measured against. But we've always tried to dream big. You know, there was not one season, not even the 2007 season, where I felt like we couldn't win the football game. And, you know, we lost a lot of games that year. We lost not a lot. We won 7. We lost 6. But we lost 5 very, very close football games. So I think it's an indication that if you believe and you dream big and you try and grab those inches that are out there, great things are possible for all of us. You know, right now, Michigan State is an example of that. Whether we remain an example of that or we're able to reach higher and go forward is you know, a dream. And we're going to continue to try and do that. We're not going to have any feeling of entitlement in that area. We understand we have to work hard. We take a toughness mentality into every practice that we have and in every game that we have, and we're going to compete at a high level. And that's what you have to do in this conference at this time. At any time, you have to compete against everybody around you, and that margin of victory is very, very small. So we're where we're at because of hard work, and we need to continue to remain in that focus.
Is this a playoff, college football playoff or bust type season for the Spartans this year?
Well, I would just say that, you know, our focus is always to reach higher. Wherever you're at in the state of your program, you need to continue to try and move forward. Obviously, last year we didn't win the championship in the East Division. We came up short. So that's our first goal right there. And that goal can lead to other great things. But I also think as you move through the process, regardless of where you're at and goal setting and the things you're trying to accomplish in your particular life, is that there's going to be setbacks. There's going to be opportunities where you're going to have to sort of take stock of where you're at and handle some adverse situations. And your goals are going to change a little bit. You're going to have to refocus and change some different things as you move forward. So I think it's a very fluid situation. I think we play one game at a time. Our first focus is to get ready for fall camp. Then our next focus will be to get ready for Western Michigan. Beyond that, we have to take things one thing at a time and move through the process. And I think if we do that and we keep things right in front of us and focus on the present, we have a better chance of reaching our ultimate goals. But the big picture answer to your question is, yeah, that's where we haven't been. We want to go places we have not been, and that's the first place we haven't been.
I want to piggyback off something you just said there, to keep it one step at a time. Keep everything, whatever's next, focus on that because how hard is that to do? Because, Rico, what was it yesterday? Sports Illustrated or the Sporting News? Sporting News came out with the number one most anticipated college football game of next season was Michigan State, Ohio State. The number one game that fans are anticipating this year is Michigan State, the Spartans, and the Buckeyes. And
not Alabama, Auburn.
Not Alabama, Auburn, not anything else. And I got to imagine it's difficult not to look at that, but that's what you have to do in order to be successful, isn't it?
Yeah, it must be a hot ticket right now. But I would just say this. Everybody's trying to sell newspapers or something out there, but if you do not stay focused on the task at hand, the bottom can fall out on you in whatever you're doing. I truly believe that. And so we'll get to that week. We'll see where we're at that week. And, we'll move on that at that point in time. But up until then, we have time that we can prepare for different opportunities or challenges that await us. But the real focus has to be on what has to be done first. The hard work has to be done up front first. When we get to that moment in time, we'll see where we're at. But I think it's a statement in terms of what we have done in the past, and it's a statement on the state of the state, no pun intended, of our program.
Well,
that's being said.
Speaking of state, you've been declared the big kid on the block. How does that feel?
Again, that's something that you prove every year. So, that's a nice compliment coming from a great football coach. But again, the proof is what's up next.
Let me finish with this, Coach. There's no question the SEC has been the big dog on the block over the course of the last decade or so. But with your success at Michigan State, with what Urban Meyer's done at Ohio State, James Franklin's turning around Penn State, Jim Harbaugh hasn't coached a game yet, but we anticipate he'll turn Michigan around and make them better than they were over the last 7 years. Is it cool now to play Big Ten football?
I think it's always been cool to play Big Ten football. I think Big Ten football is really, when you look at the conferences around the country, it's cool to play in the SEC. It's cool to play in the Big Ten. It's cool to play the Pac-12 or the Big 12. Across the country, the ACC. These are highly respected programs that have academics at the forefront of their universities. They're outstanding academic institutions, the finest in their states. And to be able to play in major college football in what I would consider the Power 5 conferences is a statement. When you go on a job interview and you say, I have my degree from Michigan State or wherever in the Big Ten Conference, it's a statement not just in terms of the football that you've played, but the academic and the social aspects that those opportunities that you've had and you've experienced. And I think those things are things that round you for a lifetime and create you, make you the person that you are. So, very excited about the accomplishments last year.
You've talked enough today, Coach.
Of the Big Ten Conference, but at the same time, future's fleeting.
So I have to ask, I'm sorry, Rico, one last question. Just a bunch of my Michigan brethren wanted me to ask you, can you please retire?
Oh, me? I thought you were talking to Rico.
I tell him that every day. I want you to retire.
No, I'm not retiring. Other things to do.
Okay. Well,
I lose out. Mark, I'm sorry.
We want you out. We want you gone.
Must be a Michigan guy next to me, huh?
It is. It is. He graduated from Michigan.
Got a tiger hat on today, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, incognito.
Oh, you know it. Come on.
Yeah,
Coach.
it's all good.
Thanks a lot. Have some fun
all
out
right.
here today.
Go green.
Go white. I'll say it.